Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Welcome guys to our Dawah series where we are exploring how you can do Dawah to the Christians, and this is episode 11 of our series. So I implore you guys to watch the whole series. So if after you watch this series, I think you have a lot of knowledge on how to do Dawah, like to give Dawah to the Christians. And this is another method which is like understanding what they're actually saying. You know, like there are different ways of doing Dawah, okay? This is one of them, where we use their own resources, what they actually believe, and then we use general theology and logic to understand it and present a case, okay, against it, okay? So now, the doctrine of Incarnation, we're going to explore it, okay? Why? Because see, we have some things we know about God. For example, everyone knows God is immortal. God cannot die, okay? Christian, Muslim, Jew, everybody that understand anything about the idea of God, we know some things, okay? So we can have some dialogue about that. So the doctrine of reincarnation is another one I told you. I'm going to be discussing the Trinity, the Incarnation, and the atonement maybe later. But the main ones are the Trinity and the Incarnation. I've already made like 10-part series about the Trinity, and now we're going to go into the Incarnation. So let's not waste time, okay? So the doctrine of Incarnation is like this, okay? And you see everything is connected actually. From the Incarnation you get into it's connected to the other parts as well. So let me see if I should use red. I'm not sure. Okay, fine, let's use red. So you have the Father, okay, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay, these are the three persons we are discussing in the Trinity. So there's more to it, guys. So you have three persons, remember, one being. This is the Trinity basically. Okay, this is Trinity. Remember, okay? So now they have reduced it. Most Christians, they will tell you, see, there are three who's and one what, okay? Okay, so now these three who's are this. So we have one P, one person, one person. So we have three persons, you see, three persons right here, okay? Now, one being, but the Incarnation is like this. One of these persons. So we ask you, who was the person that became incarnate? You will tell me the Son, okay? So the Son, he does something that the other two persons did not do, okay? So the Father did not become incarnate. The Holy Spirit did not become incarnate. If you say they became incarnate, you're probably a modalist or something, and the church class you as heretic. Anyway, that's not what we are discussing here today. But now the Son does something. This is the Son, okay? This is incarnation right here. The Son took another nature, a human nature, okay? But I want you to see something. I'm using this color specifically for a reason, okay? This is the Son here, okay? Now, so the Son is the Son normally before incarnation. The Son was fully divine according to the Christians. So the Son is fully divine, the Father is fully divine, the Holy Spirit is fully divine. Fully divine means it's God, okay? Now, when the Incarnation happened, there was an addition of nature, okay? An addition of nature happened here. This is Incarnation, and this is what they call the hypostatic union, okay? So you need to know this term, the hypostatic union. Okay, the hypostatic union just means the Son and the Son taking on a human nature, and they are like this. So this is just it. Now, some things are important here. You need to understand. So first, let's just explain what's going on. Okay. Now, remember, this is one person. This is another person. This is another person. That's why we have three persons. So one person is still here. So we still have one person, which is the divine person. Just move here. This is the same thing. It's just taking on a human nature. This human nature was created from nothing. Okay? This human nature is not eternal. This human nature is just human nature. Okay? Now, let me now tell you. And this human nature is full human nature, by the way. It's fully human. Full human nature. What does that mean? Okay? We'll explore that now. Normally, we humans, okay? We, normal people, humans, what do we have that makes us human? Okay? The most fundamental part of us is our soul. Okay? We have a human soul, and then we have a human body. Okay, so our soul and our body. But if we die, our soul is still alive. So our soul is actually kind of more fundamental, such that when the body is destroyed, the soul lives on. Okay, we know that. Okay, now the question is this: this is a normal human, a fully human person. Okay, he has these things, a soul and a body. Okay, now this human nature here, does he have this same stuff? So let's use blue for this one. Let's name this one a human person. A human person. Let's use blue for it. Now, this is a normal person, just like me, just like you. Okay, we have soul and we have a body. Very important stuff. This human nature that was taken on, does he have this thing, soul and a body? The church, they said yes. This has the same thing. So this H here, it has what? A soul and a body. Now, when the church said this, what happened? A lot of people disagreed. Okay, so the first people we are going to learn today are the what's it called? So remember what I just wrote here. This is one person right here. Okay, now is this another person? Okay, because we know this one person. For example, this is a person, a human person. Is this a person or not? Is this a human person or not? They say it's not a human person. Okay, so we can ask that question. Is this a human person? Is this a person? So this is the normal Jesus that we see on earth. Okay, this is Jesus here. This is the divine Son. Okay, this is the body, according to what they say most of the time anyway. But this person, is he a person or not? So this is the question we are asking here. Now, there are three positions that have been taken in history that will show you guys today. The first one is this. The Nestorian. Okay? The Nestorian, they believe, since he has a body and a soul, okay? They say, since he has a body and he has a soul, therefore, he's a human person. Okay? He has a body and a soul, therefore he's a human person. Now, this is heresy. They believe this is a heresy. If you have a body and a soul, the church, okay, this is their position. So they say he's a human person, which means you have one person there. One person, which is a human person plus this person. So what do you have? You have two persons. The first person is a divine person, and the second person is the human person. So these guys, they say like you have two persons there. So this is Nestorianism. Two persons, one divine person, one human person. That's two persons. Okay, this is the Nestorian. This is a heresy. Okay, the second position now, the Apollinarian view. What do they say? These guys are saying, if he has a body and a soul, he has to be a human person. Okay, because everybody knows, just like you have a human soul, you have a soul and a body, therefore you are a human person. So now these guys are saying no, he doesn't have a soul. Okay, so he just has a body. This human thing, nature that was taken, he doesn't have a soul. So he doesn't have any soul, zero. So he's just a body. So this is a body and this is the only person there. So they believe there's only one person, the divine person. Okay, so there's no person here. They believe no person. The only person there is the divine person. This one P here, one person here. So these Nestorian guys, they believe there are two persons, the divine person and the human person. Apollinarian guys, they're like, no, he doesn't have a soul, because if he has a soul, this has to follow. So he's not a person. So this is how they go around it. Now, the last position, we'll call it the Chalcedonian position. Chalcedon. This is a council where they classed these guys as heretics. Okay. This is a Chalcedonian position. They believe, he has what? This is what they are saying. He has a body and he has a soul. Just like the Nestorian. The Nestorian said the same thing. Body and a soul. then we know that if you have a body and a soul, you're a human person. This is exactly what the church, they are denying. So the church, they are saying, is not a person. So no person. Okay, so they are taking one part from the Apollinarian, no person, and taking one part that is also, he also has a body and a soul. So you can ask the first question, that see, if someone has a body and a soul, is that not a human person? What is he if he's not a human person? You can ask that question. And why the church said he's not a human person? It's a human nature. Okay, so this H now, what did they call it? A human nature. Remember this. They say it's a human nature. Okay, this is what they are saying, that is a human nature, is not a human person. So a human nature is not the same as a human person. We can ask them that question. Okay, so what do they say about this? They just say it's a human nature, because if you say he's a human person, you have two persons there, and for some reason they don't want to agree to these two persons' ideologies, because you have two Christ, and everything just becomes weird. Okay, but they reject it. Okay, so that is not our own business. Any which way, this is what they believe. So I've shown you different positions. This Apollinarian and the Nestorian, they are heretics, meaning they are rejected. This is the position of the church. He has a body and a soul, this human nature that was assumed. So they say it's an assumed human nature. Okay, that's what they call it. He's not a person. Okay, so we know that now. So should I end it here for this series, or I should go into that, like the problems that come with it? I think we should end it here, just to show you that now you know all the positions and what is going on here. So now it will be, let me just mention all the heresies before we move on. You see, while this was going on, do you think, if you think that the Son, the divine Son, you know, this one, and the human nature, if you think they mixed such that they became another thing? Okay, so now you have the divine Son, and then it mixed with maybe like this human nature. Okay, so there's a kind of mixture going on here. Okay, whichever percentage you think. This is another heresy called Eutychianism. Or monophysitism, or whatever. So this is a heresy also. This is wrong. When I say heresy, I mean it is rejected by the church. Okay, so if you believe this kind of stuff, they will kick you out. So there's no mixture going on. There's a demarcation between them. They don't mix. Okay, they don't mix. If you say they mix, you're a heretic. Okay, that's another heresy right there. Now, and by the way, all these heresies, they are by people that were not just normal random people. You see, Nestorian, he was a bishop. Apollinarian was a bishop too. You see, this is the council. Chalcedon is a place where the council of Chalcedon, okay, that's where they were classed as heretics or whatever. But the point is this: there are some people that actually believe this, and they were not just random people. They thought this was what's going on. But the church position has to stay. That is remember, this is a church position. Okay. Now, which other heresies should I show you guys again? Let me see. So now, if they do not mix, okay, so what is going on here? They don't mix. So this is like this is the human nature, the divine nature, the divine person here, and we'll get into the problems later in the next part. Okay, guys. So I think we should end it here. You've already understood many of these things. Remember all of them. Eutychianism, remember them. I understand what they mean. Okay, so I think that is fair enough for this part. So the next part, I'll show you the problems that comes with it. So, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.